WTIM. Welcome in to WTIM, your information station. My name is Tim Zalabak, your host of the WTIM Morning Show. Before we continue with another great conversation here, let's take a look at the weather. We're continuing to update you on the severe weather here. We are going to read this off one more time for you. Areas impacted will be Booty, Willies, Palmer, Oconee, Sharpsburg, Rosamond, Taylorville Municipal Airport, Bullpit, Langleyville, and Tovey. The severe weather update. We will continue with these updates while we receive them. Now we will be back to the morning show. Here we have Valerie Belusco on the line. She's a community and economic development coordinator for the University of Illinois Extension. Valerie, how are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing super well. And once, thank you so much for bearing with me right there while we give out those weather updates.
Well, you know what? It is important. I am actually on the road this morning myself and have been through some nasty weather. Right now I'm pulled over safe and sound doing the radio interview, but keeping us up to date, that's always wonderful and a great service the station provides us.
Oh, without a doubt, that is what we're here to do. And we're glad that you are safe in a safe spot over there. We're going to get right into it today. Our conversation is all about business phone etiquette. I was thinking about how very much applicable this is to my job, but out there in the careers out right now, it's going to be important at every job. Valerie, talk to me about this.
So a lot of people think that in my position as community and economic development educator, I only work with adults because I do so many things that are really adult oriented. However, one of the things the university and the state is focusing on is building those workforce development skills. And so I do get into the school districts quite a bit, and I've had a new school district reach out to me, and they kind of talked to me about some issues they were noticing, and I said, hey, guess what? I've got programming for that. And so I started working with their 8th graders, and we spent a whole day working on phone etiquette. And everybody kept saying, why in the world are you doing this? Why do you need to teach kids to talk on the phone? They know how to talk on the phone. And I said, they do, but they don't know how to talk on the phone from a business perspective or from a professional perspective. And so we kind of started to get into that. And I was thinking, I'm a 40-something-year-old. And so when I grew up, everybody had telephones in their house.
Yeah.
That was common.
Right.
Now I have an 8th grader, and she has never had a landline in her house.
Oh, very true.
She's not familiar with that. She's never had to answer the phone for her parents and take a message down. She's never had to do those kind of things. And so, those are skills that we do need to teach our youth because they're just not familiar with it. And what's funny is I get employers all the time kind of almost like berating the fact that younger adults don't know how to talk professionally on the phone. And I started to think about it, and I thought, but that's just not in their second nature. No one teaches this, and they've never had to do this. So they're incredibly smart, but they just don't have the skill set. So let's go ahead, get into the schools, and teach these kids how to do things like answer phones properly.
I mean, this is just so really, really cool. But you've made this, you've attributed the lack of business, being able to talk business over the phone to these kids because they haven't had to pick up that phone needlessly. Sometimes they're really able to decide when they want to make those calls and who the calls go to. So this is a really interesting topic we're going to be jumping into today. I'm reading right here that kids tried out some old phones, and when you ask maybe an 8th grader there to show how they're going to answer a phone, they hold their hand flat. And that makes me pretty sad, like they're using a smartphone. They don't make that little phone shape anymore, Valerie.
Right. No, they don't. Not at all. Not at all. I love it. And I also, it definitely ages me, but I think it's hilarious. So as we try to make this fun for the kids too. We don't want it to just be so boring. And so I wanted the kids to see some of the types of phones that I grew up with. And when I was little, it wasn't even common for people to have answering machines in their house, much less voicemail. That wasn't a thing. And so I brought in some old phones, and one of the phones I brought in was an old rotary phone. And then I also brought in, when it went up from a rotary to like the push buttons.
Okay.
And I said, okay, who thinks they can show me how to make a call on this phone? throughout the day, I probably had 60 kids try. And I would say maybe
Oh,
got it right.
and is that the
And
number phone or the dial, the rotary phone?
either one,
Either
they
one.
both
Oh
had the
man.
same problem. They had the same exact problem, and that was they all went to dial the number and then pick up the receiver.
Yeah, I could see where they would go wrong there. Yeah, that makes a little bit of
This
sense.
is something that just seems so second nature
Yeah.
to me. They've really never had to do that. So although we think it's silly and we all got a good chuckle out of it, even them, they could not figure out what they were doing wrong. I said, nope, you didn't make a call. Somebody else tried.
Yeah.
It is important. So we went through that, and then I showed them kind of like what office phones look like today, and we talked about why so many businesses still use landlines and telephones, especially in this area.
Yeah.
We kind of got the kids used to that idea, and explained that, so they understood the purpose behind it and understood that phones probably aren't going away anytime soon.
No, that is not the fad that many people wish it was, because these younger kids are very technologically savvy, of course. But then when you put this technology in front of them, it seems like a brand new thing to them from a different planet there. So I want to talk about some of these statistics that you found. I'm old enough to have had a home phone in my house that was phased out 10 years ago. But talk to me a little bit about this timeline of the declining landline use.
So why kids don't know how to do this is because they don't have the phones in their home.
Yeah.
And so there was a report that Statistica did in December of 2022. And in 2008, what do you think the percentage was of households that had a working landline?
In 2008?
Yes, in the United States.
In 2008. I'm really thinking that's starting to be phased out. Let me say 50%.
Oh, no, we were still at 80% back then.
80%? That's a lot.
It is a lot. Now, most people didn't use it, and most people only had it like for emergency dialing out, but they still had them, right?
Yeah.
So then in 2022, how do you think that changed? What do you think the percentage of households were that had landlines in their homes?
It's got to be around 30%.
You're there. It was 28%.
Wow.
So, yes, a huge dip. And when you think about it, the 8th graders, they're 13, 14 years old. So they are in that time period where telephones, they were disappearing in the homes. So they never had to answer the phone. I remember when I was young, my last name was Brown before I got married. And we answered the phone and we said, "Hello, Brown residents. How can I help you?" And, that's just how people answered the phone.
Yeah.
They've never had to do that. So they answer the phone, they see the caller ID, and they go, "Hey, Mom," or "Hey, Aunt Judy," because they just know who's calling already, but we didn't know. Yeah. So it's very different.
Saying this is the Brown residence almost emulates that of a business setting. This is Miller Media Group. This is Regional Radio News, where we work at, and this is University of Illinois Extension. People are not having that practice anymore. We are finding out from Valerie Belusco right now. Valerie, we're set to take ourselves a short little break right now. Do you have any more? I see another really cool statistic right here that if you want to read that one off.
You know what?
Ring Central? Is it Ring Central? I'm sorry, I'm looking at something that says spam calls.
Sorry, Ring Central. They did a study on spam calls. In the year 2019, spam calls went up 128% in 1 year.
Goodness.
So that is why so many people were like, nope, we're not going to have landlines anymore. We're not going to pay for it, just to only use it for spam calls.
Wow. Well, my phone notifies me that a spam call is coming in. The technology has gotten pretty good from that point.
It has.
Wow. Okay. We're talking right now with Valerie Belusco, Community and Economic Development Coordinator for the University of Illinois Extension. We are learning about business phone etiquette. We're going to learn how to have some better etiquette when we come back from the break here. But we are learning about why that has declined in the recent past here. Before we take ourselves a break, we're going to get an update from the National Weather Service. Now, we have not had any interruptions over the air yet, so that is a good sign, but we still cover many cities across central Illinois here. See if there are any new updates in Taylorville. At least severe thunderstorm watch is issued. It is just a watch at this point. It has moved west into Effingham, Charleston, and just north of Mount Vernon, Tuscola, and Paris. That is all right on top of you guys right now. We will continue with updates as we receive them. This has been Tim Zalabak reporting from WTIM, your information station. You're listening to the WTIM Morning Show. We will be right back.
Your information station, WTIM.
Whether you're getting a little older or just wanting to focus on your health a little more, you need the advantages of a primary care physician from Memorial Care. From detecting long-term illness to planning long-term wellness, our physicians are with you every step of the way. Make today the day you start thinking about tomorrow's health. Make an appointment and begin having regular checkups. Physicians in Decatur and Springfield are currently accepting new patients. Visit memorial.health for more information.
People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, are proud to continue their long-standing sponsorship of honoring Taylorville High School Students of the Month on WTIM's many platforms on AM, FM, and streamed online, and on WMKR Genuine Country 94.3.
Hi, my name is Mia Lyons, sophomore student of the month at Taylorville High School. My parents are Michelle and Joseph Lyons. My extracurricular activities include basketball, Purple Rain, and FFA. I like to lifeguard and play sports. My future plans are to attend a four-year college and get my RN and become a delivery and labor nurse. My favorite subject is physical science because I really enjoy science and it is very fun.
People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, salutes these great Taylorville High School students on this honor and wish them the best in their future. People's Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
I'm Police Chief Andrew Pistorius with the Sullivan Police Department, here to talk about a topic no one wants to discuss, depression that many times leads to suicide. When a person is going through such feelings, many times family and friends don't know how to help, but there is help. If you feel depressed or lonely, there are many resources to help you. Call a trusted relative, friend, or minister, or call the Suicide Prevention Lifeline toll-free at 800-273-TALK. That's 800-273-TALK. All of us are here to help.
It's no secret that employers are having a difficult time hiring qualified personnel, whether full or part-time. The Miller Media Group wants to help you, the employer, to find the candidates you're looking for. That's why we've created IllinoisJobPost.com. That's IllinoisJobPost.com. This website is part of a broad radio and internet employment campaign available through the Miller Media Group. Contact your account manager or email sales at randyradio.com for more information. IllinoisJobPost.com is where we put the power of radio and the internet to attract prospective candidates.
Hi, this is Andrea Bach from the Christian County YMCA, where it's all about youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. Find out about our great programs and activities at your local YMCA by clicking our icon on the obituary page of TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Taylorville Care Center offers therapy to help you recover and return home as quickly as possible with private rooms for rehab to home. Find out more by clicking the Taylorville Care Center icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Your information station, WTIM.
Welcome back to WTIM, your information station. My name is Tim Zalabak, your host of the WTIM Morning Show, with another weather update here. The severe weather warnings have passed us, and we are now in the midst of a severe weather watch. The storm system has moved west of Taylorville now, heavily over Shelby County area, Charleston and Effingham and Tuscola, and those are all under severe thunderstorm watches. As of right now, we are out of the warning situations there. We will continue to provide these updates. On the phone line now of the WTIM Morning Show, before we tell you who is on the phone line, we haven't mentioned our sponsors enough this one. People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better at Landmark. Got to give love to the sponsors here. But also, we have Valerie Belusco on the line with us, Community and Economic Development Educator, Community Economic Development Coordinator, for the University of Illinois Extension. We've been talking all about business phone etiquette and where that's gone. Well, it has went with the landline, as that has been phased out. So has business phone etiquette. We're going to learn a little bit why, but Valerie, once again, thank you so much for being here with us.
You're welcome.
Absolutely.
I am actually listed in my title as educator, but I was a program coordinator. So you are right on both fronts.
Well, that makes me feel good. I was right on the fronts there, and I said both. I will not continue to say both. You are the educator
Oh,
now.
no.
That's exactly what you're
okay.
doing. You're educating us every single time you're on the show. But now we're going to learn a little bit more, okay? Because when I was growing up, we had a home phone, and then we started having cell phones, and then we had all types of different phone numbers throughout the house. That gets expensive. Talk to me a little bit about this.
It gets so expensive, and it seems like the cell phone prices have gone down a little bit, the actual usage prices, but it seems like those landline phone prices never went down. And so when you're a family and you're living in a residential area, you really don't need all of that. So many people just understood that, let's cut costs and let's just go with the cell phone. It's always on us. We can always get contacted that way. And so that's, a majority of the reason why so many people went away from home landlines for residential areas. However, it has not been the same for businesses, because businesses are willing to pay that extra expense to have that extra reliability. Landlines are known for having very good signal. There are very few things that interrupt the signal. It's usually very clear, very consistent, very concise. And so that's why so many businesses have not given up their landlines.
Yeah, well, that makes a lot of sense.
It does. But the kids, man, these kids, they're so smart. They said, Miss Velasco, but I'm pretty sure a lot of businesses are moving to where you can call online from your computer. And I said, oh, yep, you busted me. A lot of them are. In fact, at the University of Illinois Extension, we have both. We have a landline, and then we also utilize phone calls through our Teams platform. The problem is that sometimes we just don't have the best internet signal. And so sometimes there can be a lag, or sometimes, your internet's not working. And so you don't have that reliability, which is why we don't want to give up the landline. And we've noticed that in these small rural communities, many of the businesses here, especially businesses that are what we consider vital to the community, doctors, government offices, those kind of things, school systems, they need that reliability. So they're sticking with the landline. And I don't see that going away anytime soon.
No, cell phones have won the conveniency battle there, but landlines are prevailing there and ensuring that they are always working. They're always working. Lots of you can always put your trust in those. So let's move on. We have 2 minutes left. I want to learn some proper etiquette over the phone here. What are people doing wrong? What were those 8th graders doing wrong? That'd be hilarious to see.
Okay, so the first things first, we wanted to make sure those 8th graders knew exactly how to answer the phone. You want to make sure you give a friendly greeting, a hello, not a hey. And you want to make sure you say the company name as well as your name, because you just don't want people to know what company they called. They probably already know that. Yeah. But they want to know who they're speaking to. They want to have that direct connection with you right away. And so that was the first thing we went over. Then we kind of went into first impressions. Why is it so important to have good phone etiquette? Well, it's a first impression on the business, which definitely impacts the bottom line, but it's also a first impression on you. And so you are constantly marketing yourself, even if you're not the owner of a business. If you're working for a business, you are marketing yourself, and you want people to have a good impression of you. So having that great phone etiquette is incredibly important. Last but not least, we really talked a lot about using your volume, making sure that your speed is good, making sure your tone is good. We always say smile when you're talking on the phone, and that's because when you smile, you can really actually end up hearing the emotion. So people know that you're friendly and happy. And so sometimes you have to force a smile, but you know what? As soon as you do that, your tone and your demeanor changes, and the person on the other end can really hear it.
Yeah, those tips are unbelievable. And you're speaking to the guy that speaks with a smile on his face for about 90% of the day on the air, because that makes people listen just a little bit more. You can totally hear it in the voice. Valerie, we're out of time. Thank you for providing this great information. Where can people go if they want to learn more?
You know what? You can always call me at 217-532-3941 if you'd like to bring programs like this to your school for your kiddos. Give me a call. And always check out our U of I Extension Facebook page. We are Unit 18, or the website.
Providing very cool and creative programs for these area schools. I love it, Valerie. Thanks so much for taking the time today.
Thank you.
Absolutely. That was Valerie Belusco, a community and economic development educator for the University of Illinois Extension. I'm Tim Zalabak, your host of the WTIM Morning Show. Thank you all for listening.
Documents prosecution of Mr. Trump. Defense lawyer cheering a Georgia judge's ruling